97 on the box. Y'all need to put a little more music in that mix, Chief. Mix it up a little bit. Go back to the 80s or the 90s or something, because you're exactly right. After they get done with that last song, they start right over, no matter what the show is. They start right over from the beginning and run it again, and it's just crazy. But
exactly. And there are a lot of hot artists out here. I'm going to tell you, bringing this seriously, we were at Hot TV from 8 o'clock till 5:30 in the morning. And when I say every artist that hit that stage was talented, every artist that hit that stage was talented. You know, there were a couple that could use some work, but they had content. So when I see talent like that coming across the stage, I say to myself, why are they not being played? They need that exposure, and people need to hear them. You know, there are people out here that really want the old music that we used to listen to. And I mean, they got flavor with it. It's still jamming. There's nothing wrong with it, but give us some lyrical content. You know, I have children, and if they're going to listen to music, I want them to listen to something that's going to benefit them intellectually, because, and that's probably, you know, a good part of what your program is. If kids are hearing stuff that's not going to help them with their intellect and education, typically, you know, those kids end up falling into the system on ignorance alone, you know, and not knowing that the prison systems are really just designed to capitalize off of youth that are uneducated.
Exactly. Because it's just like how one of our previous guests said, Mr. Busybone of, the legendary group Bone Thugs and Harmony. He stated that there's not a lot of people bringing awareness, and it's a lot of people, you know, trying to do the industry thing and trying to do the music thing when they're not so quite ready for it. But like you said, the people, the individuals that came to the event, majority of them, you know, seemed like they had some substance and had something to say. Then you said others needed work, you know what I'm saying? So it just takes, I guess it just takes, understanding the craft and to know what to do with the craft rather than just rapping to really get out there and make a difference, you know?
Exactly. And a lot of them, you know, they have it in them. You know, even when you need work, that doesn't mean you can't make it. It just means you need to keep perfecting your craft, because it is a craft and it is a talent. It's just like a football, basketball, or track star. You have to practice to become better at what you do. So you got to put in the work. And, you know, even with these artists coming out, what they should understand when they come out, it's an exercise to get them better at what they do. So when they get on bigger stages, main stages, and tours, you have perfected that craft. And not only that, they're out collaborating with other people and networking. These are mixers. I mean, you can come out and network with other people, and the stronger your network, that just builds you as a better artist, a better person. And, you know, that's one of the things that I really want them to understand.
That's right. And as far as the December 11th event, is it pretty much going to be the same? I know I wasn't there. I wish I could have been there on the 6th, but are you going to pretty much have the same setup, or is it going to be somewhat different?
We actually are going to be doing the same setup. This is going to be the first of, we are calling it now the Hip Hop Fest. So this is Hip Hop Fest 1. We'll be doing this every second Saturday of the month. Malik enjoyed what we did so much, he opened up Hot TV to us to do this every second Saturday of the month. So we're opening up the format again. It's going to be open bar and free buffet for everybody, the same thing that we did before. Only thing different is we are going to start earlier because we had an overwhelming response from artists that wanted to come out and perform. We're getting new artists that are contacting us now saying, hey, I want to get on. And, I mean, it's seriously because they recognize what we're doing. We're not just, you know, throwing people on stage and putting on a showcase. That's not what this is. I don't do showcases. Vince doesn't do showcases. We actually organize events and bring people together, and we actually help them with marketing and showing them how to become better at what they do. So this is completely different from any showcase that, you know, what people do. Of course, you're up there showcasing your talent, but this is not a showcase. That's
a good. I'm glad you mentioned it because I mean, just being in Houston alone from the beginning and knowing how certain individuals, I'm not going to name any names, certain individuals in the past, certain individuals in the past put on these, what we just stated, showcases. But the game is, I'm going to give the listeners and the artists that's listening some game. Because CO been through this. So I feel you. I feel the ones that's coming up and, getting out there, trying to get out there and got to deal with these yahoos with these showcases. Now, when you're at these showcases, people listening clearly, peep out the scene. If there's, let me say, an artist there who's with the head of the person of the showcase, and
that's right,
who's mainly being, advertised at the showcase, that isn't it's a showcase, but it isn't showcase on your behalf. Let's just say that.
Exactly.
It's more showcase for that particular individual in that clique, where your money is being, put into that project or whatever's going on to showcase that individual. Now, what Vanessa and them has going on is something completely different. They're there to, help you promote your particular craft and what you're doing. So I want y'all to know to get with the right people and stop dealing with these yahoos. Like I said, we ain't going to say no names. They know who they are. We've been doing this since 2002, so I know who you are. And I believe they still out there trying to do their thing as far as these what we call showcases and playing these games. But, deal with Vanessa and breaking the labels, because they really putting the project together, and it's also making the difference. Let me say that.
Thank you, Brandon. I appreciate that, and I appreciate you letting people know, because you're on my page and you see what I do and you see what Vince is doing. We're actually promoting artists, and we're letting people know and saying, take a listen to them. These people are hot, and just promoting and marketing them. It's about more than just getting their money and telling them, hey, bring 10 people with you and you can get on. It's not about that. What we're doing is saying, you come show up and get on stage. You come showcase what you do for all of these people, and we will help you get your voice heard out here in the community. We're also asking the community to show up, because we need a community of supporters. These artists can't go anywhere if the community is not supporting them. And I want to say this too, Brandon. There are artists that have come up out of Houston that have made it and have not reached back to these artists. That's why we are there. We're helping them, and we're seriously about helping artists. Vince Bryant is an artist himself, so he understands this struggle. Vince is an incredible artist, and for him to have not been signed as of yet, that is something I couldn't fathom. When I initially met Vince, I listened to his music, and he never even asked me to listen to it. I just, tuned in, turned on something. I was sold. Vince is actually the very first feature that I put on the blog spot for Breaking the Labels. And after I talked to him, he joined the movement and understanding what my passion was and what the vision was. He actually had the same vision, but I say that we were brought together for this purpose, because he shared that vision, and the two of us together, this thing has just taken off. I mean, and it's phenomenal. And I have to say this, without the people who are supporting us and the artists who are believing us to help them, we really couldn't serve that purpose. So without them believing that we are out here to do exactly what we say we are doing, we would be nothing. Seriously, we would be nothing. These people have really trusted in us and gave us their hearts. They have become family. I can't even say, the ones who stayed late with us just to get this in, and how we were still crunk and energetic by the end of the night, because they are really trusting in us to do what we say that we are doing, and we honestly are, because that's what we believe in. It's a passion.
That's right, that's right, that's right. And you make a valid point there, like you said, in the middle of your statement, that, the individuals who have made it, they haven't pretty much reached back. And like one of my other comrades and I spoke about at her block parties that she hosts, Miss Cliche, the Hustle Hard block parties and her She movement. we had a panel July 4th. It's an event that goes on every 4th in July. But we also stated that, you know, these individuals, these rappers, you know, they make it and they put out this type of, music that they want the community to vibe to, but at the same time still leave the community in shambles and in a low economic state. Not saying that you have to, fully just take care of your community, but try to at least make some type of change, you know, in that type of community instead of promoting the poverty in that community. Why continue to keep it good up until 2012, you know, steady, you know, making it like that's cool to be in the hood and not have no money. While you rolled through and we, you know, looking at you say that, you know, that's my car like we did back in the day, you know what I'm saying? It don't make no sense. And I want to send a shout out to K Reno too, because he also made a valid point on that too, you know. People selling out in the game and they don't consider it selling out, but, you know, if you steady promoting your hood and your hood is not coming up economically and the development in your hood amongst the individuals and the families aren't going nowhere.
And you got to give back to the community that's supporting you. If the community is supporting you, give back. You know, and I'm so glad you brought up K Reno. K Reno was there for the event this weekend, and he performed. His message was incredible while he was up there on the stage, and I just truly thank him because he is such a genuine person. He came out, he performed. You know, I asked him, "What do you need? What can I do for you?" He didn't want anything, and you know, Vince told me that K Reno is not one to really just hang around. And you know, when he's done with his show, he kind of likes to go ahead. You know, may stick around for a little bit, but go ahead and you know, do his thing and get off. He hung around and he really, you know, listened to the artists that were up there, and a lot of artists that were there reached out to him, and he's told them, you know, how he believes in their talent. I so appreciate him because just from the beginning of me meeting him, he is such an humble person. And for him to be in the position where he is, to share his knowledge and be that humble, I mean, it's amazing, and I appreciate him being that type of person, seriously.
Most definitely. Yeah, K Reno is one of the you know, founder generals out there that's, you know, leading this fight out there, and you know, we commend him all the way. Also, I also gotta send a shout out and commend Mr. Muhammad 2G. He's another strong activist out there that's putting it down musically and keeping it real and doing his thing out there. So Muhammad 2G, what's up? It's your boy CO. And the rest of the comrades out there, a part of the SPC coalition and Cliche and all of them that's doing their thing for the community and still making it happen, along with Vanessa Chozen Marie and breaking the labels. You know what I'm saying? So we all a part of this, you know, this history involving this movement and, you know, changing the sound of music back to what it needs to be. And you know, and just making it right, because there's so much wrong out here. We all have to come together and do our parts in different sections of the town or the city or the world to get this thing taken care of. You know what I'm saying?
That's right. I always like to preach Economics 101. Because this market is dictated by supply and demand. And when people start to demand the music that we deserve, then that's when we will begin to hear it. We've got to push the movement. If we don't push the movement, guess what? They'll still give us what we've been getting. So we have got to push the movement, and that's what's going to force the change. That's why Breaking the Labels at 97.6 Break It Radio, we're not going anywhere. Our email is outsideTheBox@breakitradio.com. It's that for a reason, because we're thinking outside the box, and we are doing whatever we have to do to push those in media, in broadcasting, and in television to change the things that they are putting out for our community. You know,
get larger than life and get raw. This all about the Benjamins, the ballers. Tip off of the old block. Jackers be lurking. Keep your doors locked. More cops, more jail, more prisoners, no bail. Catch hell if you go tell. Family with you, oh well. No telling what niggas.